many people don't understand the power of serving. Many people think that you have to have this feeling, this where you fall down or something, and you have to be like this, to receive from God. But if you are serving God, I'm a prime example. Oh my goodness. Like I am constantly serving God. There's not a time where I'm like, okay, someone else go and minister so I can go like this, But like it's just a special grace. Like when you're in that place where like there is a place of like receiving from God like this, like receiving, and you fall back and you have those encounters. But then you come to a place where God has truly delivered you and healed you, and now it's time to serve God. But then you keep receiving from God, but it's different. Like before, when you needed healing and freedom, you're falling back. You're maybe screaming out demons if you need deliverance or coughing. It's these like huge physical things happening, physical, supernatural experiences that are happening. But once you're set free and healed, it doesn't mean that you never have physical experiences again, but they're going to be less. And I've talked about this a lot. I have messages on this. I'm forgetting the name, but there's one message I preached like a few months ago or so, or like half a year ago or so, where I shared about how the purpose of coming to church is not to have a physical experience, but to receive from God, not receiving this like physical experience. That can happen. But when you're freed and when you're set free, now you come to church to worship God, but also to receive the word, receive equipping to be more matured and stronger, and your spiritual eyes opened up. But receiving that many times doesn't equal like this physical experience. But that's the main purpose of going to church, for believers that are set free and, now following Jesus and walking in his will and being a disciple. And also receiving the anointing as it is released, which is doing miracles in your life. But it doesn't necessarily mean there needs to be a physical experience attached to that. Right there, like the anointing's released, you might not feel anything, but the anointing is going out in your life, working on things in your life, in the area of finances, in the area of your physical health, in the area of your family members. In the spiritual realm, it's doing things as it was released upon you. And so if you're at the church and you're not in a position of serving at that time, you have your hands up like this and to receive. But if you're playing the piano, if you're operating the camera, if you are doing something, maybe you're moderating on the live stream, like if you're doing something serving wise where you can't be like this, close your eyes with your hands up, it does not mean you haven't received that anointing. You've received that anointing just as powerfully. And actually, anyone who serves God is receiving the most amount of anointing. Now, I don't mean like, by saying that, I don't mean like, if you cannot serve at the church, like that you're planted at in this direct way of like operating the camera or playing the piano, that you're missing out. I don't know. I share this often, but serving God, it's different in every season. And the big way that we all serve God is by sharing our testimonies, sharing on social media what God is doing at the church where you're planted at, to share that ministry and do that every day, continually be doing all you can to shine your light, to lead people to Jesus and lead people to where you have received the power of God so that they can receive the power of God as you have. That's serving too. Okay. But, like I just heard this amazing testimony that all of a sudden, like right now, the mom is receiving these miracles. I see prophetically, it's because you served at Arise and Shine, filming and everything. So as you're doing that, the anointing is coming upon your life powerfully. And many people miss this fact. They don't want to serve. Because they think they're going to miss something, but actually you're receiving more. And so I'm a great example. Even Chantal is a great example. I mean, just my life, her life, like my life, like I'm never in a place where I'm like, too bad I have to serve. I wish I could just receive today because there's things I like really need. And so I know that as I serve, this is how I receive. And God takes care of everything in my life, everything in my life, everything. And that's the biggest key is serving. Serving, you take care of God's business, He takes care of your business. But we got to get out of that mindset about that when you have the physical encounter or when you have the eyes shut and the hands raised, that's when you receive. Now, it is important to raise our hands when we can, don't get me wrong. But what I'm trying to say is many people, when they're serving, they think that they're missing out. They're seeing other people be knocked down by God's power, but they don't feel anything and they're busy serving and they think they're missing out. But God's the one that sent you to serve. And because you're serving, people are able to receive. So how does God treat you? How is God looking upon you? How is He looking at you? I mean, you see what I'm saying? Like those who lay down their lives to serve God, the last will be first and the first will be last. The last will be first, the first will be last. This even happened on the Zoom call this Wednesday. I mean, the Zoom live. This gentleman was like, let other people receive, and then God had him be called on the Zoom for releasing the anointing to him and stuff. And so that's how it is when you're serving. You're like, I want to help do what I can so that everyone can receive. It's not that you're like disqualifying yourself from receiving. It's that you're being like Jesus. You're being like the disciples. And so the disciples, they were receiving the most from God, but they were serving people. They were focused on serving people, and they received the most. And they're being able to be used the most by God. So you got to understand how God sees, how He sees you, how He must take care of you as you're doing His work.